The opponent going to have a tough time trying to tap, charm down, farm down Heatran. The opponent gives up on that idea and send out Bastion. An old trainer, that might be a decision you live to regret. Welcome back to the channel. In a matter of hours, the leagues rotate. To be honest, by the time you're watching this video, the leagues have probably already rotated. However, Season 23 has gave us a ridiculously good move update, and we've got so much more to cover. I've received so many incredible battle submissions, and I wish I could get to more. Unfortunately, I'm on day 4 of my new job, and I'm feeling incredibly tired, but the show must go on. We've got time for just one more in the Open Great League. I always try and put my community first, so I actually put a community post out, and you get to choose what we shoutcast today. We had the option of the Cypher Scizor combination. We had that buy one get one free on Dewott Samurott. However, none of them come anywhere near close to the suggestion of shoutcasting Shadow Heatran, running the buff move of Bug Bite. Today's battles have been sent into the channel by a long-time member of this channel. Firstly, thanks very much for the support over the years, Ben. I very much appreciate it. And Ben is not only showcasing Heatran, but he's going to be whipping out his perfect rank 1 Legacy Shadow Poliwhirl. Where else are you going to see content like that? Let's keep the intro reasonably short by my standards. And without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see Heatran into Jumpluff. If we was on Fire Spin, this would be a very advantageous matchup. It's still pretty good, but nowhere near as good as it could be. The opponent saves switch into the Quagman, and out comes Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl is kind of a fake mud boy. I used to always give Politoad such a hard time, but Poliwhirl certainly fills that role. Functions as a mud boy without that sub-ground type in. If you're willing to invest around 500,000 Stardust because this Pokemon is heavily excelled and an elite TM, you can effectively get yourself the world's most expensive Wish Cash. What a selling point that is. We fire off back-to-back Scold, forcing both Protections of the opponent. The opponent then gives up switch, sending out Jumpluff, and Heatran re-enters the arena. We've seen Jumpluff can put in work in almost any scenario, but this is not a matchup. The opponent will be flipping. Magma Storm picks up the one-hit KO. Back out comes the Quagman. Ben going all in on Heatran, and why bloody not? This is a Heatran showcase. We invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Mud Bomb, fire off the Earth Power. Earth Power moves the Quagman from the field of play, and out comes Toxapex. Dewott has been buffed this season, as it is running Fury Cutter. Now, one of the best one-turn moves in the game. However, in this matchup, we are fully walled. Aqua Tail resisted by the Water type in, and X's are also resisted by the Poison type in. Ben's thrown both charge moves in this matchup, and you eagle-eyed viewers might have thought they looked like they did pretty similar damage. Well, according to PV Poke, they do exactly the same amount. 15.2% apparently. So with that in mind, Aqua Tail would be more energy efficient as it is cheaper, so I guess you just try and spam out as many of them as you physically can. Hold up, I thought we were cooked. Ben gives the opponent the show and go. Catching the brine. Back onto the low health Heatran. Poliwhirl re-enters the arena, able to survive the poison jabs, reach the mud bomb, and Ben will be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see the Pancake, aka Unova Stunfisk. Ben says no thank you, say switched into Dewott. Dewott with his lightning fast pacing. Of course, switch takes a turn, still able to pace at the same speed to this Stunfisk, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. This opponent's actually opted for Mod Shot, which is definitely better for us, meaning Duott's actually going to be able to outpace to this next Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail, not the hardest hitting move, but my, Stunfisk gets rocked into the red health range. Ben, thinking about shielding last second, tanks the damage. The opponent tries to snipe with Clefable. Ben shows cat-like reflex, and Heatran re-enters the arena. Heatran wastes no time, goes straight for the Magma Storm. Magma Storm goes unshielded. Heatran's going to be looking for that Bug Bite farm down, which we're able to get. Who the heck runs Charm Clefable? Honestly, what a nonsense move. The opponent then sends out Blastoise. Ben looking to do big damage. Full sends the Earth Power, which unfortunately does go shielded. Thankfully, the opponent doesn't roll out Farmus all the way down, but they have heavily over-farmed, and this could get somewhat dicey. Ben sends out Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl lightly shields a potential Skull Bash right. Ben actually looks to call the bait. It's just a Hydro Cannon. Ben easily withstands the damage. The opponent makes a very nice catch, catching back onto Stunfisk. Back out comes Big Man Blastoise. We tried to make the catch ourselves, but this time we are unsuccessful. Ben invests the Protect Shield. Did we just get Ice Beam? What the heck was that? Ben, look, I see your BM trainer and I raise you my own. Fires off the Legacy Scold, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. Well, that's a problem. I think we're kind of obliged to stay in, to be honest, as Poliwhirl also isn't going to be particularly good into this matchup. However, Ben's like, shut up, Jamie. What are you on about? I've got a plan. We're going to catch on Dewott, and I guess we're going to try and make something happen from here. The opponent rebanks some energy, then send out Toga Damaru. Mr. Dan Ottawa, is this you? The opponent, we're going to call Dan, not that it's Dan Ottawa. It could be, I don't know. Went for the fail stinger, Dewott withstood the damage, able to reach back-to-back Aqua Tails, and Ben actually might get himself some kind of advantage here in the mid-game matchup, and he does exactly that. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how we're going to deal with this Glitterbod, to be honest, but let's let Ben cook. Ben sends out Poliwhirl. We'll be looking for the one shield mod shot farm down, which we're able to get. The opponent sends out Mandibuzz, that ever annoying bulky vulture. Scald, a pretty good move, but this is just going to bounce off Mandibuzz. To be honest, that weren't too bad. We then pivot into Heatran, trying to catch a charge move, but all we catch is that wham, bam combo play. The opponent sends out Glitterpod. We see the final shield deployed, blocking up the Aqua Jet. Ben returns fire with the Magma Storm. Down goes Glitterpod, and back out comes that ever annoying vulture. You know what? These bug bites are kind of chunking, you know. The opponent fire off the Dark Pulse. They opt to throw back-to-back. Do we still have a chance here? Can Ben outpace the back-to-back Scalds? Ben gonna farm up. Oh my gosh, we're going for a double resisted Mud Bomb bait. Mud Bomb, no! The opponent shields. Ben then able to reach the Scald on what looks like to be a CMP type. Is Scald enough to knock out? Oh my gosh, I can't quite believe we won that game. GG's, buddy. Heading into the next battle. We see the battle of bug biting steel types. Now there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. We farm up, bank some energy, send out Dewott. Dewott immediately hit with the Rock Tomb. You can see Dewott not really that bulky, to be honest. That Rock Tomb did a lot. We fire off the Aqua Tail, even debuffed, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. Ben needs to fully wait out his timer, as whatever we send out will be switch locked, whereas the opponent, of course, hasn't switched yet and they can switch out. Heatran fires off the Magma Storm. The opponent really liked this Fortress, double shielding it here in the opening matchup. Ben matches Protect Shields. The opponent then send out the Big Fat Bunny. Ben tries to catch a Fire Punch onto Poliwhirl, and his catch attempt is unsuccessful. Ben last second invests to Protect Shield, and this naughty opponent still throw the Fire Punch regardless. Ben able to outpace to the Scald. Scald hits for super effective, and a lot of super effective damage at that. The Big Fat Bunny does reach the departing Scorching Sands, but Poliwhirl able to withstand the damage and even get a very nice Mud Shot farm down. The opponent sends back out Fortress. Ben fires off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb gets the opponent low. We pivot into Heatran. And what the heck have they sent out? Something running Psywave. Can we bug bite farm down? Holy no! The opponent's thrown the game. Oh my gosh. The opponent unable to survive. Just 10 bug bites. Get absolutely deleted. We leave with the Magma Storm. And we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see another Pancake in the lead position this time. We don't see the instant pivot. Instead, Ben farms up and looks to catch the Mud Bomb onto Dewott. And I quite like that play. It means we bank some energy on Heatran. And Dewott doesn't have to tank a super effective discharge. The opponent sends out Blossom. Ben gonna try his luck at taking back switch. We shield up the Leaf Blade, return fire with the X-Scissor. X-Scissor rocks Blossom low, and Ben able to take back switch. Let's see how much switch advantage does for us. It doesn't look like it does a lot. In fairness, I think Stun Fisk is advantageous into the entirety of our team. The opponent sends out Toxapex. Ben sends out Polytoad. Oh boy, please tell me that's a Sludge Wave catch. Did we catch the Sludge Wave? No, it's a Gunk Shot! Fucking hell, what is going on today? The opponent pivots back out into Stun Fisk, and we're able to force the first protection off the opponent. I think Ben's got to put it all on Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl is going to have an uphill battle. It's Poliwhirl versus the world. Poliwhirl re-enters the arena, fires off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Ben instantly going to pop with that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming discharge. The opponent then tries to sack Toxapex. Ben going to farm up, throw the Mud Bomb. The opponent did full send a Gunk Shot, which was kind of crazy. They are energy drive. Ben, look at the Mud Shot farm down Toxapex, which we're able to do. Ben leaves with the Mud Bomb, and have no doubt from this range, Mud Bomb is going to be all she wrote. What a catch, man. The catch to the trash can was brilliant. Heading into the next battle, we see Legaue in the lead position. Somewhat of a scuffed matchup. Their quick move of Acid, double resisted as Steel, does double resist Poison. The Aqua Tail would have been super effective, but Ben like, nah, I'm just going to catch it on Dewott. The catch was nice, but what isn't nice is Jellicent entering the arena. This is such a bad matchup for little Dewott. Our Fury Cut has resisted, as Ghost does resist Bug. Aqua Tail going to be resisted as Water resists itself. Ben invests a Protect Shield here, but I don't really agree with that, as we simply cannot flip this matchup. Oh man, this is looking dire. Ben sends out a Heatran. I don't even think we can Bug Bite farm down. Ben recognises that, fires off the Magma Storm. The opponent recognises they can just invest a Protect Shield and look to force our final. Ben obliges, shielding up the serve. The opponent gives up switch, sending back out Legaue, and Ben goes 2 for 2 making catches. Ben doing his best to get himself back in the game, and making 2 catches is always a good start. Ben wastes no time, goes straight for the mud bomb, looking to apply some shield pressure. Down goes Legaue. Oh, that's a Blastoise, man. How do we beat Blastoise? I think this one is going to end in heartbreaking defeat. Ben fires off the mud bomb. Mud bomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent over farm. Hydro Cannon will be survivable, but not by much. Ben pivots back out into Heatran. Heatran able to Bug Bite farm down. There is no shot. There is no shot. Earth Power! Oh, isn't quite enough to knock out. I think we're 1 mud shot off the mud bomb. If we get DRE, I think we win. No! I don't know if that's DRE or if we actually survive the rollout, but somehow Ben takes that game. Oh man, I don't need this much excitement after a 12-hour shift. Heading into the next battle. We've seen another Stunfisk in the lead position. Interestingly enough, another one running Mud Shot as well. I'm not entirely sure why all these Stunfisk running Mud Shot, but it kind of is what it is. The opponent pivots out into Dragonair. Dragonair greeted with the X-Scissor. Oof, that did a lot. Does Ben let this go or does he take switch? Ben looks like he's recognising Dewott. Can still put in work, as after Fury Cutter farming down, we're going to leave very, very close to a charge move. The opponent not wanting to send Stunfisk back into the arena. Opt to send out Greninja. Greninja invest that Protect Shield, blocking up the X-Scissor. Ben just sacrificing Heatran to the Pokegods. Hydro Cannon picks up that 1-hit KO. I guess from here we just send out Poliwhirl and attempt the world's most aggressive Mud Shot farm down. You never want to shield the first move in case the opponent get the boost. The opponent fire off the Night Slash and thankfully we don't see a boost. Ben, regardless, is going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the next one. The opponent there does get the boost, but they pivot out. Back into Stunfisk, we fire off the Mud Bomb, serve the opponent that wham, bam, combo play, giving the opponent the Big Mac and the fries. Aqua Tail removes them from the field of play. We Fury Cutter farm down Greninja and take that game. In the next battle, holy spice. Oh man, I wish they're on Confusion. Unfortunately, this Slowbro is running Water Gun, so we pivot into Dewott. Ben farms the X's of baits with the Aqua Tail. Oh, that's savage. Forcing the Protect Shield, the opponent then pivots out into Fortress. Fortress also going to be greeted with the next Aqua Tail. Dewott is so spammy, man. It is ridiculous. The opponent attempts to farm down. Dewott says no, reaches the next Aqua Tail, doing some decent chip damage. Ben sitting in a quite commanding position with a 2-0 shield advantage. We send back out Heatran. Heatran very quickly going to be giving up one of them Protect Shields. Oh, we get baited with a Sandtomb. The opponent returns the bait favour. We send out Politoed. At this point, you don't really want to shield in case the opponent throw yet another Sandtomb, and they do exactly that. Back out comes Slowbro. Ben looks to fire off the Mud Bomb, but loses CMP. The opponent full sends a Psychic, so good shield deployed. Mud Bomb isn't quite lethal, but does enable a Mud Shot farm down afterwards. The opponent sends out Beedrill. Ben looks to fire off the Skull, but unfortunately loses CMP, and it's all going to be down to Heatran to clean up. No! Why would you run Fail Stinger? The opponent fired off the Fail Stinger, which doesn't get the job done. Skull rocks the opponent low. Ben snipes with Heatran. Bug Bite farms down, leaving very close to Magma Storm. He's able to reach the Magma Storm, and of course, double super effective. Easy going to remove Fortress's remaining HP. Heading into the next battle. Yikes, we see the battle of fire types. Ben into the retreats, into Dewott. The opponent makes a savage catch, catching onto male Scarada. Oh man, if we held our energy there, oh my god, I don't think we even needed to. Look at the Fury Cutter damage, absolutely disgusting. Back out comes Marowak. Ben gonna invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the Bone Club, and we should outpace the back-to-back Aqua Tails before the next Bone Clubs reach. The first Aqua Tail forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Aqua Tail not the hardest hitting move, so I anticipate the opponent letting at least one of these go. The opponent actually choose the double shield and even opt to throw energy. Dewott has more than done its job. Ben elects to let it go down, and as he's got switch advantage, he can just realign his Pokemon, sending out the fake Wish Cash, aka Poliwhirl, into this fire type. The opponent doesn't even look to bluff a potential Shadow Bone, so if Ben's counting, which looks like he is, he knows he can easily tank this damage. The opponent continued to stay in. Ben going to take the initiative, fire off the Skull, remove Marowak from the field of play. Oh, hello, Bastion. Nice to see you, nice. The opponent doesn't want that smoke, and they concede the match. In the next battle, now that's a pick. Obstagoon in this economy. Oh my days, if that wasn't mad enough, the opponent's got not only a Dark type, but a Hypno as well. You'd think this is like season 8 or 9 or something. Wow, this opponent really isn't scared of bugs. Clearly, if you don't believe in them, they can't hurt you. Ben sends back out Heatran. Oh my gosh. Very quickly deletes Hypno's remaining HP. Back out comes Obstagoon. Ben gonna fire off the Magma Storm. Magma Storm forced to protect shield, and we see a very nice catch, catching on something else running a bug type quick move. The opponent pivots out into Superior. They're actually triple weak to bug. Are you kidding me? I'm not really sure I like this bait, Ben. Orphan, the opponent calls it as well. There's a number of reasons I don't really like that bait. Firstly, we've got an energy lead, so we'd always outplay Superior. The opponent's already down 1 protect shield. An Aqua Tail bait and only saves you 5 energy. So I think there you should just go straight X's. But Ben able to go straight Aqua Tail. And this is now only at dicey. How much do these bug bites do? Can we bug bite farm them down before they counter farm us down? I think here I'd be committed to fast moves. Both trainers throwing charge moves. We're able to Simul KO, but Dewott is still alive and well, and we take that game. Holy, in the next battle, that is an awful lead. As Heatran stares down the Kentucky Fried Chicken, a bird of death. We say switch into Dewott, and out comes Ferret. Ben going to try to flip this match up. We get baited with a Swift, but Dewott so incredibly spammy, he's going to be able to outpace to the next Aqua Tail, either flipping switch or forcing our shield back. I guess here we can just bug bite farm down right. What they're going to throw at Heatran, Swift, resisted, still resist normal. Trailblaze resisted, or actually double resisted. Both Steel and Fire resist that. The opponent actually not wanting to see the farm down. Send out Talonflame, and perhaps we're back in the game. Poliwhirl hits the field of play. Ben looks to call the bait. The opponent fire off the fly. Oh boy, we're going for the single resisted Mud Bomb bait. Mud Bomb thankfully does force the shield. And we're able to reach the Scald. Holy, please be something weak to fire in the back. Please. I've asked nicely. Oh my gosh, that is very, very weak to fire and weak to bug. Ben sends out Heatran, wastes no time, fires off the Magma Storm. Magma Storm, quite underwhelming damage to be honest, but these bug bites are chunking. Ben going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Rock Tomb. The opponent recognise the game's over, send back out Ferret, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see Dust Noir in the lead position. Ben say switches into Dewott, gonna strike first, firing off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes unshielded. And to be honest, that did quite a lot as well. That isn't even a Shadow Dust Noir. Ben going to invest the Protect Shield. Then go straight for the next Aqua Tail and look to either just remove this Dust Noir or force his shield back. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. No shot. Look for the Astonished farm down and end up getting Fury Cutter farm down instead, which is absolutely ridiculous. The opponent then send out Mandibuzz. So we've already discussed that both Aqua Tail and X's do exactly the same damage when both are neutral. So there, we should have went Aqua Tail, but I guess we're only making one move, so it's neither here nor there. Ben sends out Heatran, Dark Pulse. Looks like a good move when Heatran is on the receiving end. Ben invests the Protect Shield. I thought we were going to get Aerial Ace baited, but thankfully the opponent did force in the Dark Pulse. Ben going to return fire with the Magma Storm. Magma Storm forces the final Protect Shield, and it's now all down to Poliwhirl to 1v2. In Poliwhirl, I believe. Poliwhirl hits the field of play. The Vulture continues to stay in, gonna fire off the departing Dark Pulse. Ben needs to be mindful the opponent can make a catch, and that would be catastrophic into our chances of winning this battle. The opponent sends out Clodsire. That's 5. I think we need to 1 and throw. Ben does 1 and throw, anticipating the opponent being on Sludge Bomb. They didn't actually CMPs. Perhaps this is Stone Edge. Scald removes them from the field of play. Back out comes Mandibuzz. Ben able to reach the next Scald. And Poliwhirl does indeed 1v2. GG's, and thanks for playing. That was actually a Mud Shot Clodsire, which we don't see that often. Well, math suggests that if they only threw 6 Mud Shots, they actually only have 48 energy. So on Mud Shot, it's actually 7 to the first Sludge Bomb. But regardless, we got the job done. In the next battle, we saw a Caesar in the lead position, usually commanded for Heatran, as we'll be hitting for double super effective with a recommended move of Fire Spin. Unfortunately, on Bug Bite, that matchup's flipped on his head and we're hitting for resisted. We tanked the Night Slash, pivoted out into Dewott, baiting out a Tentacle. This is an old school moveset. Poison Jab and Acid Spray. I've tried this thing myself this season. Run Acid as your quick move, Scald and then take your pick on nukes. Don't run Acid Spray, run like Sludge Wave or Blizzard, and it is so much fun. I think it's going to be a nightmare to face in the Ultra League. We send out Heatran, fire off the Magma Storm, removing them from the field of play. We finally pivot into Poliwhirl. I think Sizzle's going to sweep. Ben correctly shields up the Trailblaze. Maybe we've got a chance here. There's no shot. Ben pulls this off right. Oh, the Scald actually doesn't one-shot B-Drill. We're kind of obliged to shield this move up. Ben recognised the Trailblaze would be super effective. We're able to Mud-Shot farm down. Reach the part and Mud Bomb, but of course the opponent can just shield this up. Bullet Punch farm down. We pivot into Heatran. That gets Bullet Punch farm down as well. And this one does end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, awful lead once again, looking to utilise Dewott on the say switch. The opponent continued to stay in. Ben going to take the initiative, striking first, firing off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail does decent damage with the Fury Cutters, putting this Quagsire below half health. Ben invests to protect shield. Shield at the Mud Bomb. Thankfully we can get Aqua Tail baited. The opponent fires off the next Mud Bomb. Dewott doesn't withstand the damage particularly well. The opponent then sends out a Fire type, which we're certainly not complaining about. Oh, we make another one as well. Charizard tries to fire spin farm down. Dewott says no. We force both protections of the opponent here in the mid-game matchup. Ben sends out Poliwhirl. The opponent farming up a boatload of energy. We're not going to respect the charge movement. Oh my days. We just got overheated to the face. Week 1 of the season is the Wild West. And these games are so bloody hard to commentate. Who the hell runs overheat? Out comes Stunfisk. Ben recognises he won't reach the Scald. Fires off the Mud Bomb. How heavy is that Quag? We're going to be forced to shield at this Mud Bomb. I think Quagsire is healthy enough to reach another one, so we can pick our poison. The opponent sends out Quagsire. No, we get the farm down. And we reach the Magma Storm. Is Magma Storm enough to knock out? I don't really know what to say other than GG's. We're going to move swiftly on. Bastiodon, that is not really what we want to see on Bug Bite. We say switch into Dewott, baiting out Big Man Blastoise. Ben going to go straight for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor hits for neutral and decent neutral damage as well. The opponent goes straight for a Hydro Cannon. However, Blastoise, you don't hit hard enough for that resisted move to threaten Dewott. Dewott withstands the damage. Ben looks to fire off the Aqua Tail, but unfortunately we end up giving the opponent a free rollout. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. Ben can match shield and flip alignment, and that is exactly what he's going to do. And old Bastiodon, you sir, are going to be so sad. Really surprised to see Bastiodon re-enter the arena. They're not going to be able to smack down Farmers down before we reach double Aqua Tail. The first one lands, the second one they can tank, but they're going to be left low. Dewott putting in a lot of work, almost removing 2 of the bulkiest Pokemon in the format. Ben sends out Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl looks for the Mud Shot farm down, but unable to get it before the Stone Edge is reached. Stone Edge rocks us. Below half health, out comes Talonflame. Ben doesn't throw at the best time in. We could have definitely thrown at least one further Mud Shot there, but kind of is what it is. Ben farms up, actually makes the catch, back onto Heatran. The opponent fired off the fly, which didn't look all that resisted, to be honest. The opponent from this range, they fully farmed us down. I think they had a chance of winning, but they opt to throw their energy, and this just gives Ben a very easy win con. Throw this Scald in the middle of the Incinerate after 4 Mud Shots. A Mud Shot farm down the stupid brick wall, and we will be emerging victorious. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see a commanding lead. We double resist everything in Florges' moveset. Trailblaze, double resisted. Disarming Voice, Moonblast, also double resisted. The opponent recognised that as an atrocious matchup and say switch into Wish Daddy Cash. Wish Cash lands the Mud Bomb. Dewott gonna farm up, return fire with the spam of Aqua Tails. The first Aqua Tail forced to protect shields. The opponent looks to realign their Pokemon. Ben, last second, invests the protection. I thought he was going to let it go there, but he did actually shield at the last second. Once again, getting me very, very confused by what's going on in the majority of these battles. Wishcash able to outpace to the next Mud Bomber. Once again, Ben commits a very late Protect Shield, keeping me on the edge of my seat. Ben returns fire with the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes unshielded. We're able to Fury Cut a farm down, keeping that super positive alignment. Heatran re-enters the arena, goes straight for the Magma Storm. If I was the opponent, I'd be switching. Why are they saying in this matchup? What's in the back? You can't be this weak to a Heatran. Perhaps a Psychic type? Who knows? This is the Wild West. The opponent gives us a massive farm down. Send out the balloon. The balloon going to be greeted with the Magma Storm. And now it's Ben that needs to get out before we concede a farm down. Ben does exactly that. Poliwhirl enters the arena. One Shadow Ball will be survivable as the regular balloon. Of course, the Ominous Wind. Why would you not throw Ominous Wind as if I didn't know what was going on already? Ben fires off the Scald and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Clefable in the lead position. What the heck is this on my screen? Flozel. I actually really like this Pokemon. I think it looks cool. It's just like a mad looking beaver, but this thing is so bloody bad, man. The opponent farming up a boatload of energy. They're all down 1 Protect Shield. They're not willing to 2 Shield. Oh boy, this trainer is in so much trouble. Back out comes Clefable. Interesting running Charm. I definitely opt for Fairy Wind. If you want to run this Pokemon, but what do I know about anything? We send back out Heatran. The opponent recognised they're going to have a tough time with Tap. Charm farming us down. Send out Bastiodon and trainer. Today is not your day. Earth Power. Double super effective. Nearly picks up the 1-hit KO. We snipe with Poliwhirl. Mud Shot farming down. Back out comes Clefable. Clefable does reach a charge move, 2 shield flex Ben. The opponent fires off their Swift. We do go for that 2 shield flex, reminding you all why you shouldn't run nonsense tap teams. GG's and thanks for playing. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's Shoutcast. A huge shout out to Ben for submitting a very spicy team with some very spicy movesets to round out the first part of Season 23's Great League rotation. I'll be honest, buddy, that was very crazy and very chaotic, and most of the time I didn't really have a clue what was going on, but it's very fun to Shoutcast regardless. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below, and as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.